So this is the Anycubic Kobra 3 Max, and I was having a shit of a time getting this bed to go back and forth without sounding like some sort of meat grinder. So I initially started taking the bed apart just to have a look at what was going on, or actually I wanted to just adjust the bearings underneath there, assuming that the eccentric nuts were done up too tight, creating a lot of stress on the rods and creating a severe clunking and sound as the bed went back and forth, and it was actually physically showing up in prints. So what I did was I took it all apart, adjusted each side up individually to get these eccentric nuts set so it would glide back and forth nicely. I then put back on the middle plate, which is the belt carrier, which a belt attaches to, and I then put back on the top plate. What I found was that adjusting the top plate, and you'll see it as I do it, would lift in one side. So as I adjust that down, you'll see that side lifting, which indicates, you can see how far off the bed it is, that either the plane on one of these sides is not set correct, or the plate has got a twist in it. And it's more than likely going to be the plate because it's pressed steel. It's a pressed piece of metal. So as it's pressed, it gets stressed and it'll bend and flex and carry on. That didn't seem to be such a problem because that gets bolted down, but it creates a secondary drama. So as you hear that gliding now, it's pretty smooth. Bear with me a tick as I put these screws in. What will happen is it will cause the bed to bind back up again. This isn't easy to do one-handed. I might have to just loosen these ones back off for a tick. And you can actually see that side drop back down again once I take the pressure off it. Get all 4 screws in. Once all these are in, it'll actually put pressure back on the plates again, because the twist in the actual bed is too great for the plates to stay level and keep your bearing adjustment that you've just done. So now that that's back on, then you can hear that. It sounds like a saw, like it's sawing its way back and forth. And that's because these bearings are binding as the flex in this top plate creates twist on these bottom plates. So the fix for me, and I'd imagine everybody else that's having this problem, you can actually see that, like it's just releasing so much pressure as you bring it back up. So what you want to do is you want to create a point where this can still bolt to those base plates, those 2 bottom plates that hold the bearings, and not create too much stress on it. And I think you can guess what's going to happen here. You heard that plate drop as I release the pressure. I think you can guess, and it's going to be a pretty simple fix in the end, and that is to just run 4 small washers on top. Make sure they're all the same thickness. Don't be putting uneven washers on there if you don't have to. And of course you'll lose a mil, it'll raise the bed up by a mil, but that's not the end of the world. And I'd rather have the bed up a mil and then it can just re-level, go through your leveling thing again, and once it re-levels, it'll come good for you. Again, sorry about this, trying to do this one-handed isn't the easiest thing. But basically, this just allows the bed to kind of float, if you know what I mean. This top spring, it'll allow it to float without binding up the bottoms, because they're just twisting to conform with the shape of that plate that's bent on top. And this just takes that out of the equation a bit. I'd imagine this is just something we're going to have to deal with in future, as all beds sort of start to get made this cheaply and poorly. I mean, you could always get Anycubic to replace these, but I can't see that one pressed steel would be better than another, because it's just pressed steel. So it's always going to have some sort of... so what that does now is allows that to go back and forth freely. It's all secure. It's taken the twist and the bend off these base plates down here, and now that's gliding. You know, not 100% perfect, but you know, that's a lot better than what it was before. It sounded like some sort of, you know, train going over railroad tracks or something crazy. But there you go, guys. That's all nipped up tight. It's running smooth, and there's your fix. Cheers, guys.